It's all about me.
This is the Dan Patrick Show podcast.
There is more where that came from.
Click back for new episodes all week long.
The 118th U.S. Open begins Thursday, June 14th, and BetDSI is the place to wager on it. Tiger Woods, Jordan Spieth, Phil Mickelson, defending champ Brooks Koepka, and more will be competing at Shinnecock Hills Golf Club for the right to call themselves the U.S. Open champ. Also, World Cup action begins this week in Russia and will run all the way through mid-July. Head to BetDSI to wager on individual matches, futures, and props. The entire world will be watching, so why not wager on it? BetDSI.com has over 20 years in the business, top-rated, and is safe. Check out BetDSI.com and check out this offer. BetDSI is offering up to $2,500 free on your first deposit. Use promo code DAN25. That's DAN25 to claim this limited time offer. BetDSI has great customer service, fast, easy payment of winnings, hundreds of wagers on NBA, NHL, PGA, boxing, NASCAR, F1, UFC, the list goes on. BetDSI even has live in-game wagering on all major sporting events. You can play virtually every sport on BetDSI. So use DAN25 and try BetDSI.com now. That's BetDSI.com. Go there now.
I told you guys I would deliver the meat, and I delivered the meat.
I love it. I'm excited for meat, Dan.
Broadcasting from the Mercedes Man Cave, this is Dan Patrick.
Welcome to the program. It's Hour 2 on this Meat Friday. Dan and the Danettes, Dan Patrick Show. One of the weirder sports beefs took place yesterday on Twitter. I don't know if you're aware of this, but it had to do with Kevin Durant, Myles Garrett, and apparently the lead singer of the band Smash Mouth.
Told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
I'm telling the truth. Yes, Paulie.
I'm throwing the BS flag, Dan.
No. I have documentation here. You know I love my Twitter. And I saw this. Smash Mouth joins the weirdest sports beef between Myles Garrett and Kevin Durant. So that was... So I see the headline, and I go, okay, Myles Garrett plays for the Cleveland Browns, former number 1 pick out of Texas A&M, and he's a LeBron James Cleveland Cavaliers fan, I guess, playing in Cleveland, and he was being interviewed and had this to say on a local radio station in Cleveland.
KD broke the league. You hopped onto a 73-9 team and took the easy way out. You know, it was different for when LeBron left. He kind of went to Wade and Bosh, and it wasn't something that was already guaranteed, something that you already knew was going to have immediate success. You kind of had to gel and work things into place. But with KD, you just stick him in and he scores. You already knew what they had. They were 73-9 before, and you put the second best player in the world on a already all-time great team, and of course you're going to have success, and pretty easy success. Anybody could have an off night and still be able to find a way to win.
Okay, so let's just analyze what Myles Garrett had to say about Kevin Durant. It's not a hot take. Now, you can say, okay, he ruined the league because he went to a team that was already very good, great, had 73 wins, lost a 3-1 lead to LeBron and company in the finals. And then Kevin Durant went there. Ruin the league is strong words, a strong description, but it's been used before with Kevin Durant. Has he ruined the NBA because Golden State's going to be favored to win the next couple of years? Okay, we can have a discussion on that. Ruin is a strong word. But is he riding the coattails of guys at Golden State? Already had a very good team. A team that set the all-time record for victories with 73. Okay, yeah. Kevin Durant's riding coattails, or at least he's part of the coat. Does anybody disagree with that? Is LeBron riding coattails here? He jumped on board with a great team. Durant. Is he riding the coattails? Yeah, McLevin.
Yes and no. I understand what he's saying. Riding the coattails isn't accurate because Durant's probably the best player on that team. So the analogy doesn't quite work. He's joining something that is already special, definitely. But riding the coattails doesn't sound right.
Yes,
Well, he did jump onto a championship caliber team.
A team that won the championship the previous year that they went 73-9.
And it is Steph's team.
Yes, it is. Well, Smash Mouth didn't agree with this. Wait, do we know the lead singer's name?
Steve Smashmouth.
Steve Smashmouth?
Steve Smashmouth Harwell.
Do we know do we know Smash Mouth's first name? Do we know his name?
I think it's Steve.
He's Steve.
I think so.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
All right. So Smash Mouth responds to Myles Garrett. Hey, Myles Garrett, nobody knows who the F you are, so nobody gives an F what you would do. And hey, genius, the Warriors didn't win the championship the season before KD signed, so not sure what coattails you're referring to. This your Twitter page? Bleep, bleep, question mark? Okay.
You want to go line by line on that, or?
Some people know who Myles Garrett is. It sounds like Smash Mouth really cares about this. And the Warriors didn't win the championship, but they won 73 games, and they were up 3-1 on Cleveland. So it's not like they were, hey, you barely made the playoffs and bowed out in the first round, or you got to the conference finals. Smash Mouth then follows up by saying, you never replaced Kyrie. What did you expect to happen? Now, Smash Mouth, I feel strange just saying Smash Mouth. Yes, Paul.
You don't want that Smash Mouth fan base mad at you, Dan.
I don't.
No, you know that.
I just saw the beef, and I was thinking, and I know that he's passionate about Golden State, but also I know that he ripped Draymond Green a couple of years ago. Smash Mouth tweets, check yourself, dude. That was embarrassing. Somebody needs to knock your bleep out on the court. Done with your act. Then he follows up, dude, if you want to run a team, go sign with the Lakers. So Smash Mouth is on fire here.
If you're Myles Garrett, do you come back with, hey, Smash Mouth, can't wait for your greatest hit album or something like that? Take a shot back? I want to see this keep going.
Yes, Fritzy.
Yeah, he doesn't sound like the smartest tool in the shed with all these mean tweets.
See what you did there?
I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
He might as well be walking on the sun.
Seton loves Smash Mouth. Yeah. Oh, God.
I spent a lot of time spinning these records.
Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Smash Mouth.
They don't write them like this anymore,
No,
Dan.
they don't.
Joke, I like to buy the world a token, teach the world to sing in perfect harmony, and teach the world.
All right. So Smash Mouth in one of the great Twitter beefs. You know, Drake gets involved in these kind of things daily. So now Smash Mouth involved in this.
Drake Pusha T thing.
Yeah, Pusha T, man.
Forget it, man.
Yeah. Kanye, yes, McLovin.
I'm looking back at the Durant decision. So basically it came down to the Thunder and the Warriors.
Yeah.
Now that we know what we know, it was a no-brainer, right? I mean, you're ripping Durant now for leaving, but what was he going to stay in OKC? Because it's been proven that Westbrook can't play nice with other superstars. Or won't play nice.
Well, I can't give Durant credit. It's weird to give him credit like, hey, man, you did the right thing. Or why is it that we're okay then with Durant going to Golden State, but we weren't okay with LeBron going to Miami?
Well, nobody was okay with Durant going to Golden State. He got destroyed.
Yeah.
Still getting destroyed.
Yeah, Paulie.
Remember that Howie Long Air Supply beef in the 80s that you covered for CNN?
Yeah, they were killing it.
You saw that.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Oof.
Don't let Celine Dion, get into a Twitter beef with you, because she'll rough you up. She will rough you up. Her and Aaron Rodgers going toe-to-toe that one time in that Twitter beef.
Brutal.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, so I wasn't sure exactly where we were going with that, that beef. Fritzy, did you call for Smash Mouth?
You know what? I actually did.
Okay.
I did send a note to Steve Harwell, Mr. Smash Mouth.
But I would look, he's passionate about his team.
It's funny. He says, like, nobody even knows your name or, like, who you are, and yet everyone refers to him as Smash Mouth. That's kind of a tough one. What's that guy's name anyway? Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
No, his real name's Smash Mouth.
Dan in Chicago joins us now. Hi, Dan.
Hey, DP. Mr. Smash Mouth, by the way, I love that it's Steve Harwell, but he just speaks on behalf of Smash Mouth on their Twitter account.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time he's done it. He, in 2016, had a pretty big beef with the A's and Coco Crisp. And it took place at 3 a.m. That was the best part, that he's so woke to protecting his, I'm assuming his Bay Area sports teams, that he's up at all hours of the night with the littlest remarks, just kind of setting him off. I think he did it again with the Mariners in 2017. There's a well-documented history of Smash Mouth getting into it with Twitter and the Bay Area sports teams.
Thank you, Dan. This sounds like a 30 for 30.
Yes.
Smash Mouth. versus ...
What if I told you?
Yeah. What if I told you a band named Smash Mouth and its lead singer
couldn't take hits?
Smash. Yeah. Produce hits or take hits. I think you could do a 30 for 30 on this. And then get the athletes reacting to, what their Twitter beef was with Smash Mouth. Anthony in California. Ant-Man, what do you have for me?
Hey, Dan. Just calling to talk about Myles Garrett on what he said about riding coattails. As far as riding coattails, I would say more of like a David West or Swaggy P that comes to a team and contributes a little bit, and that's more riding coattails than a guy that joins the team and wins 2 Finals MVPs.
Okay.
That's more of actually contributing to a team than someone that comes in and plays minimal minutes.
All right. Well, thank you, Anthony. You're right. I mean, Kevin Durant, look, he's one of the top 5 players in basketball, but people still viewed him as you can't win a championship in Oklahoma City, even though you were up 3-1 on Golden State and couldn't close them out. So they were good enough to be up 3-1, but he couldn't survive and didn't want to stay around with Russell Westbrook, then joining Golden State. And that's why people thought, okay, you can't win a championship, so you got to join a championship caliber team. Coattails is strong, and Anthony's right. If you're a role player and you're like David West is going to join the team, I don't know if he's riding coattails. It's just smart business decision. If you made your money, don't have a championship, and you got a chance to contribute. Kevin Durant's more of the coat than the coattail. Like, in fairness to Kevin Durant. I was just surprised at the vitriol here with Smash Mouth. He wants a piece of Myles Garrett. He got a little mouthy there with Myles Garrett. How do you think that would go if Smash got together with Myles Garrett?
Yeah, Smash he's a big guy. I don't know if it's very tough.
That's his first name.
But we saw him. We saw the Smasher at the ESPY.
That's his nickname?
I think he's known as the Smasher.
The Smashmeister.
The Smasher.
Now, they were the Smash Brothers. So there'd be the Splash and the Bash Brothers. So you got, he's the Smash Brothers. Yes, Paul.
Who do you have more respect for? A player like Kevin Durant who moves around to get a title when he sees what the landscape is? Or, and no offense, a guy like Joe Thomas, former teammate of Myles Garrett, who stayed his entire career and really didn't, he probably could have gone to another team and picked off a title later in his career. But you respect him for staying with the Browns for 11 years and just playing great football. Which you could, there's benefits of each.
I understand why Kevin Durant left. There's a couple of reasons why. So I understand it. That doesn't mean I have to like it. I understand why LeBron left Cleveland. I wish that he didn't in the first place, but it was a business decision and he wanted to win championships. Every one of these guys hears the same thing. Yeah, you got to win championships. Jordan won 6. Kobe won 5. They're hearing it everywhere they go. And they want to get rid of that talk. Remember LeBron, why would you let him take the last shot? He's afraid to take the last shot. You don't hear that anymore, right? That doesn't come up anymore. LeBron can't win the big one. That doesn't come up anymore. But Kevin Durant, he can't be one of the great players of all time. You don't have any championships. So he went to Golden State. He's contributed, obviously, and he's been the Finals MVP. I understand it. I don't like that he did it. I'd like to have, a few more teams that can compete and have a chance to win a championship. I would like that, but I don't blame him. If he's having fun, or at least he's almost having fun, great. I mean, listen to what Myles Garrett said. I mean, it's thought out. He's not like yelling at him and saying, you're a punk or anything. It's not. Myles Garrett's not being radical here. He's just saying, hey, what you kind of you're riding their coattails, which is too strong of a description. We can all agree on that. But here's Myles Garrett once again.
KD broke the league. You hopped onto a 73-9 team and took the easy way out. It was different for when LeBron left. He kind of went to Wade and Bosh, and it wasn't something that was already guaranteed, something that you already knew was going to have immediate success. You kind of had to gel and work things into place. But with KD, you just stick him in and he scores. You already knew what they had. They were 73-9 before, and you put the second best player in the world on a already all-time great team, and of course you're going to have success, and pretty easy success. Anybody could have an off night and still be able to find a way to win.
All right, there's truth in there. He's right. You can have an off night and still win. But, I don't sit here and go, oh, boy, LeBron joined Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. My gosh, did you realize these guys could win a championship? I mean, we sort of knew that they were in their prime, playing, well. It did take a while for them to get used to one another. But once they did, then they won a couple of titles here. So, did LeBron join Miami and part of the coattails or part of the coat? Yeah, see.
So aside from using the phrase coattails and saying he broke the league, everything Myles Garrett said there is 100% accurate.
Yes.
He just used two words wrong.
He shouldn't have said coattails because that's not fair to Durant. But you can say that he might have broken the league because who's favored to win? Do you see any scenario here right now that Golden State won't be a prohibitive favorite next year? Probably not unless LeBron goes to Houston. Yes, McLovin.
By the way, I don't know much about Myles Garrett, but he's ready to hang up the cleats and become an NBA analyst.
Pretty good.
I mean, how does he have such a level of? Isn't he at OTAs? It's like he's been studying the NBA pretty closely.
Yeah. He's got LeBron's back there. Yes, Paulie.
Dan Chumbawamba's on line 7. They want to talk to you about Tom Brady's being overrated. They're on hold. The whole Wombas.
The Bengals joining us, too. They're upset with the Bengals. We just had a tweet, B. Perk. Do we know that Smash Mouth isn't just another one of Kevin Durant's burners? We don't know that. Is this Chumbawamba? As I act like I don't know.
Truth is, I thought it mattered. I get knocked down.
Tom Brady sucks.
Chumbawamba.
Deflategate. Oh, I can't wait for the Sunday interview with Tom Brady and Oprah. Is that Sunday morning where Oprah talks to Tom Brady and he talks a little bit about Deflategate? And, yeah, but I don't, he had a quote there where he's talking about players not standing for the anthem, but he gave you one of those Derek Jeter answers where it really looks like he's sincere and he's going to tell you something, but he's not really telling you anything. So I don't know how deep he goes into Deflategate, but he sits down with Oprah, I think, Sunday morning. All right. By the way, Dan Patrick Show, it's not my show, but it's the Dan Patrick School of Broadcasting, and it's Full Sail University. If you'd like to be involved in this and understand what it's like to get hands-on experience, you got a great faculty with real-world experience. We got people who are on the air at ESPN. We have people from behind the scenes who worked at ESPN. Bill Simmons is part of our staff. Sage Steele, Jay Harris there. You're going to learn the business inside and out with people who have worked in the industry at a very high level. We have management people involved in this. We have somebody from Amazon who's on our board, somebody from Turner Sports, Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting, and sign up. Go to fullsail.edu/Dan Patrick and tell them I sent you. All right. 18 after the hour. Phone calls coming up. We'll talk to Brandel Chamblee of the Golf Channel. The golf course won yesterday. We'll see how it's playing today. There's some rain right now in the second round. So Brandel Chamblee will join us coming up right after this in the Dan Patrick Show.
Did you know 66% of men lose their hair by age 35? Thing is, when you start to notice hair loss, it's way too late. It's easier to keep the hair you have than to replace the hair you've lost. Is that hairline slowly starting to move backwards? Any bald spots yet? How will you feel a year from now if it's business as usual up there? ForHims.com is a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, sexual wellness for men. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional. Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. Well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair. No snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. No waiting room, no awkward doctor visits. Save hours by going to forhims.com. It's so easy. Answer a few questions. The doctor will review and can prescribe you whatever you may need. Products are shipped directly to your door. Order now. Our listeners get a trial month of Hims for just $5 today, right now, while supplies last. See website for full details. This would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/Patrick. That's FORHIMS.com/Patrick. forhims.com/Patrick.
Last week on the Dan Patrick Show, we were all talking about how much we loved pro wrestling when we were growing up, and it's still great. I have great news for you now. Now, WWE is streaming online. WWE Network. It's an online video streaming service where you can stream every WWE pay-per-view live, watch more than 10,000 hours of video on demand, get a look behind the scenes with WWE's groundbreaking original series and documentaries, access anywhere. Now through June 18th, a special offer just for our listeners. New subscribers get a 2-month free trial when they can sign up for WWE Network at WWEnetwork.com/Dan. It's a 2-month free trial. includes the following pay-per-views. Money in the Bank this Sunday, an opportunity for WWE Championship hangs over the ring as 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches, plus Ronda Rousey versus Nia Jax. Also, Extreme Rules on July 15th. For one night only, WWE throws the rulebook out the window. Go to WWENetwork.com/Dan to start your 2-month free trial. That's WWENetwork.com/Dan.
The 118th U.S. Open begins Thursday, June 14th, and BetDSI is the place to wager on it. Tiger Woods, Jordan Spieth, Phil Mickelson, defending champ Brooks Koepka, and more will be competing at Shinnecock Hills Golf Club for the right to call themselves the U.S. Open champ. Also, World Cup action begins this week in Russia and will run all the way through mid-July. Head to BetDSI to wager on individual matches, futures, and props. The entire world will be watching, so why not wager on it? BetDSI.com has over 20 years in the business, top-rated, and is safe. Check out BetDSI.com and check out this offer. BetDSI is offering up to $2,500 free on your first deposit. Use promo code DAN25. That's DAN25 to claim this limited time offer. BetDSI has great customer service, fast, easy payment of winnings, hundreds of wagers on NBA, NHL, PGA, boxing, NASCAR, F1, UFC, the list goes on. BetDSI even has live in-game wagering on all major sporting events. You can play virtually every sport on BetDSI. So use DAN25 and try BetDSI.com now. That's BetDSI.com. Go there now.
Wouldn't you know it, after all these years, we finally call for Smash Mouth, and Smash Mouth isn't available. What did we hear from the PR department there? Smash Mouth's PR response? Do we have that, Fritzy?
We do. Steve is traveling for a show this weekend. Didn't make it to the hotel till early this morning. He's sleeping. They won't be able to reach him till well after we're off the air. Sorry, it won't work out this time around. They appreciate us reaching out.
Okay. All right. Well, I'd like to have him on. Let him talk about his passion here for his Bay Area teams. I love that. PGA Tour superstar and executive producer Ricky Fowler's former college program, Oklahoma State, just capped a historic college golf season, 11th NCAA championship, and relive the journey with a special 1-hour presentation of Driven, a behind-the-scenes look at one of college golf's biggest rivalries, Driven tomorrow at 5 Eastern on NBC. We make way for Brandel Chamblee, one of the stars of the Golf Channel, and their coverage of the U.S. Open. How would you recap yesterday if somebody didn't see the highlights, Brandel?
Atypical for the PGA Tour, which is what a U.S. Open should be. It was beautiful from a fan perspective, but having participated as a player, I can tell you it's no fun at all.
How many events do you think should be like this a year? It feels like we have one that's pretty much guaranteed, although last year's U.S. Open was not. But we're okay once a year where we see these guys maybe break par, or, you know.
I'd say 2 or 3 times a year, the major championships. Augusta is what it is. It's a lot of fun, you get to slay the dragon when you're, watching Augusta. You get to see everybody, make these great, bold plays. But the U.S. Open should be about control. The Open Championship should be about control. And the PGA Championship, because it's played in such hot weather, is typically a little softer. But 2 or 3 times a year, I think, is reasonable.
Explain to the casual fan why this is so difficult, this course.
Well, this particular golf course, the greens are almost all elevated, right? So if the casual fan's not familiar with Pinehurst, all the greens are not only elevated, but they roll off on the front and on the sides and on the back. So whatever the real space of the green is, effectively, it's like a third the size. Okay, so imagine taking those greens, putting them in a place where it's much, much firmer and much, much windier. So that's what this place is, the hardest greens to hit in very firm conditions in a very windy area. Links golf, typically, you have really big greens. Anybody who's familiar with links golf can probably recall how big the greens are at St. Andrews. Well, here they're, a 50th of the size, and they're in a spot where it blows. So I joked last night. I said they're harder to hit than a Mariano Rivera cut fastball, and that's basically what they are.
Who surprised you the most with how badly they played yesterday?
Rory McIlroy. I mean, the whole group, that threesome of Jordan Spieth, Rory, and Phil Mickelson, you could look at it and say they shot 25 over par, but I don't think anybody thought Spieth was going to contend as poorly as he's putting, and I don't think anybody thought Phil Mickelson was going to contend as poorly as he was driving the ball, although he drove it okay yesterday. But Rory, he was a lot of people's favorite. I picked him as my favorite. He had been out here in the Hamptons for a week. He had played, pretty darn solid at BMW. Everybody had said that they'd watched him play, and he was just, it was mind-boggling. Absolutely. Never seen anything like it, the people that were playing practice rounds with him. And he shot 80. And you look at his last 5 rounds now in the U.S. Open, and they're 78, 77, 80, 71, 71. So it's pretty darn surprising to see him play so poorly yesterday.
I'm a 10 right now. What would I shoot on that golf course? 100?
A lot of tequila.
Well, that's after. Maybe before. But what I like,
you'd shoot 100. You'd shoot 100. You would. I hate to say it, but I mean, there was Gregory, who I believe he won the British Amateur. He shot 92 yesterday, and he said, as he stood out in the fairway, and give him credit because he came and spoke to the media after shooting 92, and he said, I stood out in the fairway and I thought, well, I can't miss it long, I can't miss it short, I can't miss it left, and I can't miss it right. So I'm just going to hit it right in the middle of the green. It's like, well, that pretty much sums up the tour players' predicament yesterday.
Feels like this is Dustin Johnson and then everybody else. Is that being fair to the rest of? Yeah.
No, it's spot on. I mean, right now, he's sort of crossing that line between being a great athlete and being a great entertainer. I mean, it's like you go down to him, you expect him to do something great. So you have this anticipation, and then he does it. And it's kind of like Tiger Woods right now. I mean, he is, I think they just said on the broadcast, my old buddy Mark Brooks just said on the broadcast, he's the one player right now who looks like he could distance himself. He looks like he could shoot 3 or 4 under par and get, 3 or 4 ahead of the field and then wipe everybody away on the weekend.
What do you think Tiger thinks when he sees Dustin Johnson hit it the way he hits it?
I'm sure it makes him sad. I mean, that, Tiger, all this, as it relates to his body and his golf swing, I mean, he's 42 years old, so age would have gotten him by now, but he pretty much did this to himself. I mean, he destroyed the greatest body in the game of golf, and he destroyed the greatest golf swing in the history of the game. So I'm sure he's sad. It's not that Tiger, changed his golf swing so much as like he barked up every single tree, and now it's like he doesn't know where home is. He can't get back to where he once was, and you can see he's trying. He looks at Dustin, and Dustin has the most obvious physical advantages on the tour right now. Well, Tiger Woods used to be that person, and the way they've worked out was completely different. I don't know what Dustin's doing, but it's right. I don't know what Tiger did, but I'm pretty darn sure it was wrong.
I saw the interview with Butch Harmon and Curtis Strange yesterday, and Curtis asked about Tiger since Butch was his first main teacher, and he said, what I think it was, and I'm paraphrasing, kind of like what's holding Tiger back here, and he said ego, because Tiger still wants to hit it as far, if not farther, than everybody else, and I keep saying, if you have the mental capacity, remember he was the toughest guy mentally, great short game, he could putt, best putt, and like all these things. Right. Why wouldn't you just say, I'm going to beat you when I need to beat you, and that's on the green, instead of, mine's bigger than yours, I'm going to hit it 320 and you hit it 319. Like he's gotten into that and I think that's been to his detriment.
Well, I guess that's one take. I think Butch is he's a bright guy, and I think that's a reasonable take. Personally, I think it's a little different than that. I just think it boils down to maybe a little bit of that, but mostly in my mind, it's just technique. If his technique were as good as Dustin Johnson's or as good as his technique used to be, he'd be able to swing. He'd be able to hit shots the way Dustin Johnson's hit them, the way he used to be able to hit them. His technique's just not anywhere near as good as it used to be.
But he doesn't put it in the fairway, though, Brandel, and Dustin does.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like he doesn't put it in the fairway, not because he's swinging hard. He's not swinging any harder at the golf ball, I promise you, from a percentage standpoint than Dustin Johnson is or Henrik Stenson is. He's not. He's a smart guy. Tiger Woods is not out there flailing away. Tiger knows he needs to put a number on the board. He's not up there just indiscriminately swinging as hard as he can. He just can't do it because his technique is sabotaging him. So he's never been without a teacher. He's finally without a teacher. And I know that he's trying to swing like he once did. Well, it's not as simple as that. Nobody can do what they once did at 42. But at Jack Nicklaus, when Jack Nicklaus was 40, 41, 42, he was the best driver of the golf ball that ever lived, statistically ever. So, and that's because they had just started measuring the statistics. Imagine if they had statistics when Jack was 25. But Jack didn't change his body and he didn't change his golf swing. So his swing lasted. Tiger's hasn't lasted because he chose to change it.
All right, I got an idea, and it's controversial, and maybe you could use it tonight with Rich.
I try to shy away from controversy.
Yeah. You haven't done a very good job there. You're not making the cut on that. Okay, what if you didn't have a cut at the U.S. Open or the majors? Because now I'm looking at this just as marketing, and if I'm a broadcast partner, TV, I still want to see Phil out there, Tiger out there, Jordan out there, Rory out there. Why do we have a cut in the majors?
You know, I've never been asked that question. I can't say that I've ever even thought about it. But in the middle of you asking it, I thought, you're damn right. I was like, I don't know why we have to have a cut. They can sit around and play all weekend long. Clearly they can. They're doing it now. Great idea. I give you credit for that one.
Well,
we'll bat it around on the set tonight. I love it.
Well, let's see who misses the cut, and then you could bring it up with you and Frank and Rich. I love the fact that you guys begrudgingly went into the topic of what would be a better story, Tiger winning or Phil winning. And I thought it came off great. I just thought it was, you guys framed it well, and it was interesting. But the obvious answer is Tiger, because Tiger, that would resonate worldwide. Phil, it would resonate with housewives and golf fans, the strong golf fans. But,
right. I was going to say, how many kids does Phil have? 3, okay, and his wife, and maybe there's 10 people in the world that might think Phil's winning would be a bigger story than Tiger.
Oh, it wouldn't even be close.
It wouldn't even be close. But, 50 years from now, people would be sitting around and they'd go, wow, there's only 6 guys that have won the career Grand Slam. And, historically speaking, it'd be unbelievable for Phil. But it'd be unbelievable for golf if Tiger Woods came back and won it. And I still think what he's doing right now, if he goes on, if he can find a way to win a major championship, I think it's a better story than Ben Hogan's comeback. I mean, Ben Hogan didn't have to go deal with all this existential stuff that Tiger Woods did.
Well, wait. Hogan almost died, Brandel.
I know that, but Hogan didn't die, and the bones healed. And when Hogan was injured, he didn't come back and have to resurrect a golf game. Hogan was playing the best he'd ever played in his entire life when he got injured. So when he came back, he was in form. And he wasn't gone that long. And I'll tell you this, when you've been through the scandal, and when you've been through the scandal, imagine this, if you walked into a room with 1,000 people, and they all loved and adored you, right? Every single one of them. They didn't say a word, not a word, didn't say a word. You'd feel it when you walked in. You'd feel it. And if you walked into a room where everybody was talking about you or had thoughts about you that were not, of the highest order, you'd feel that too. That energy, I think, made Tiger Woods a big part of what he was. And look, I'd follow him around when he first came back, 2010, 11, 12, and people would say the most unimaginably rude and offensive things to Tiger all during the day. They'd yell it out. Now, there are plenty of fans out there that love him, but there are plenty of yahoos out there saying horrible things to Tiger Woods as he plays. I mean, it just happened. We were on the set at Bay Hill. Live from was sitting right there. He was walking right behind our set. And a couple of yahoos said, just horrendous things to him. And he gets that pretty much all day long. That's pretty hard to deal with psychologically. Put all those things together, the body, the technique, the psychological, the scandal, the chipping yips. Nobody's ever come back from anything like what Tiger's trying to come back from.
You ever think you'll get an invitation to the yacht, Tiger's yacht?
I don't think I'll be having crumpets and tea with Tiger on the dinghy.
He might invite you on to throw you over.
Hey, listen, I like Tiger. I'm sure he doesn't like me, but I'm a big fan. I have been sitting in a chair talking about Tiger Woods since 2004, and I've been talking about the greatest golfer ever, arguably one of the greatest athletes ever, who has decided to change the golf swing that made him the greatest player ever and change his body. I challenge anybody to sit there and talk about that every single night without saying it's the craziest thing in the history of sports. And it is. It's the craziest thing. Imagine if Michael Jordan changed his technique after 98, or pick any other superstar athlete who dominated and won at a level unlike anything anybody ever seen in sports, and they decided to change the technique that allowed them to do it, and the body, not because they had to, but just because they were bored and wanted to. That's the craziest thing in the history of sports, not just golf. And so I've had to talk about it.
No, you did. You're just doing your job. And Tiger was...
That's right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look, Tiger's best friends are some of the nicest people in the world. Nota Begay, Steve Stricker, I mean, John Cook. These are the nicest guys you ever meet in your life. I love those guys. They're great guys. They're friends of mine. So, I mean, Tiger, I have no doubt he's a nice guy. You know, I'm sure he is. And I'm sure I'd like him. I just doubt that he'd like me.
Thank you, Brandel. Have fun tonight. We'll be watching.
Take care, Dan.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Brandel Chamblee, Golf Channel. Golf Channel, part of Golf Channel's live from the U.S. Open news coverage, airing prior to and following the U.S. Open coverage. Rich Lerner is your host. It's really well done. Frank Nobilo, sneaky great there as well. So we'll come back. We'll update the poll results. McLovin has a music question. I have an unbelievable stat of the day here, and I'll have all of that for you coming up next. Dan Patrick Show.
Here at PodcastOne, we love hearing from you. We read every tweet and comment you send our way, so don't miss your chance to take our summer listener survey. Just go to PodcastOne.com and click on the survey banner, or go to PodcastOne.com/mysurvey. It only takes a few minutes, and it gives you the opportunity to make a direct impact on your favorite shows. Tell us how you really feel, so we can get to know you better. We value your thoughts and participation, so check out the survey at PodcastOne.com/mysurvey, or click on the survey banner on PodcastOne.com.
Hey, listeners, just wanted to take a minute to thank all our great sponsors and all of you great listeners for supporting this podcast. We certainly couldn't do it without either of you. And I wanted to remind you that you can support our sponsors by going to our show page at PodcastOne.com, clicking on the Support This Podcast button, and there you will see all our wonderful sponsors that help make this show possible. Thank you for downloading, subscribing, and, of course, supporting. And now, back to the show.
Stay tuned for 60 seconds of AP News headlines right after this podcast.
Where do we stand from day one with our U.S. Open draft? We had the big trade by McLovin because Matt Kuchar was playing well, and then Cooch started to struggle a little bit. Seton, do you have an update on where things stand?
Well, so far, it looks like McLovin's big trade has paid off because he's currently in last.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate.
Now, let people know that you have 4 golfers that you picked. You total up their prize money, and that's how you decide in order of who won and who lost.
And so, McLovin, who you currently have Cooch and Tommy Fleetwood?
Oh, yeah. That's the squad.
Okay.
That's who I roll with.
Okay, yeah. So that's in last. Kale is in 5th. Paulie coming in 4th. T. Frizzle in 3rd. He's right in it. You, Todd, and Paulie are actually all pretty much neck and neck. There's not a lot of money separating you guys, and then I'm just a little bit ahead of you guys in 1st.
But all it takes is one of your guys winning, and then that's it. You're guaranteed.
Yeah.
Stay out of the bottom spot in a shower of shame. Want to thank Callaway.
Wait.
What?
We never said a shower of shame. Did you just do it right there?
That when I was okay. Hold on. Let me just ask the room here. A lot of things I say and I may not remember, okay? But I vaguely recall yesterday that there was a shower of shame after you asked for the trade. Paulie?
When you established this contest yesterday, I'm almost sure you said last place gets a shower of shame. I'm 95% sure you did.
Seton, what do you remember?
I don't remember an initial shower of shame, but I do remember the shower of shame being mentioned later when the trade came up.
Absolutely.
During the trade talks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Find the audio. I want to hear the audio, or I will not submit to said shower of shame.
Okay.
And see, that's what I remember saying, is that if McLovin's trading, I said, I'm not doing a shower of shame.
I remember saying 3 times, hey, what's the shower of shame situation? You kept it intentionally vague.
Mario, or 2-day, see if you can find the audio from yesterday. Nothing else matters. You got, an hour and 10 minutes to come up with that. Yes, Fritzy.
I thought McLovin had said, what's at stake? Nothing, right? Nothing. And then I remember you also saying, well, we're not sure. We're like something along the lines of, we got to work it out. But the front row may have a better memory than I, that once the trade went in.
Don't be doing this, back row.
Well, we didn't get to take Dustin Johnson number 1 overall, the Vegas favorite.
I didn't take Dustin Johnson.
That's my guy.
Oh, I thought Seton got Dustin Johnson. That's why he was winning.
No, I got Justin Thomas.
No.
There's 8 different dudes named Justin.
The listener who won to take part, Kale, is the one who took Dustin Johnson.
Number 1, yeah. That's
Yeah.
No,
So
Kale
that's
has-
easy to do.
Hold up. Kale has
Dustin, Brandel.
What? Wait, I think this list is wrong.
Wait, what happened?
Stand by. We have to update this later.
Well, Two-A-Days put it together.
Yeah, I'm not going off a Two-A-Days one. I'm going off some other one.
That's wrong.
Oh, no, it is?
That's full of mistakes.
Well, I could see at least one mistake because 2 people have Justin Thomas here, which is clearly not possible.
Yeah, that's not. So Fritzy has Justin Thomas. Somebody once told me.
Well, at least there's not a shower of shame on it.
Yeah. All right, look for that audio because I do think when McLovin decided to trade in Jordan Spieth and Rory McIlroy, right, for Kuchar, and he also had to give up Alex Noren.
Well, that's the part that's going to kill me.
Alex Noren is playing well, and Alex Noren's a Callaway guy.
I know.
All right. But Callaway, thank you for supporting us and handing out that rogue driver to Kale as the winner of the contest there. We were wondering, since Smash Mouth is taking on Myles Garrett of the Cleveland Browns and got his back, Kevin Durant's back here. We did reach out for the Smash Mouth, and he is on tour and got in late, so his PR person said that he's sleeping. I don't know if we're ever going to call for Smash Mouth again. Not that he's saying. I
don't know that we ever should have in the first place.
No, you got to have him on.
We're journalists. We call for Myles Garrett. We got to give Mr. Mouth a chance to talk.
Yeah, but I'd have them both on. Although, what if Smash Mouth kind of views our show the way we may view Smash Mouth? So maybe they're going, why would I go on that? They're not big time. They may be laughing at us. Like, you mean that guy from SportsCenter hadn't done anything since he left? He's sort of a one-hit wonder. Somebody once told me. If you were going to be a one-hit wonder, you only got one, that's all you get. Who are you going to take? Paulie?
Mine's 80s. I was thinking a little modern English or Aha because of Take On Me with the video. But my single favorite one-hit wonder band and song is Big Country in a Big Country. They named the song and the band the same title.
I didn't like the beginning of this, but I like it when it kicks in.
Oh, man, I hate when I see this song and then I look underneath and then one says radio edit. Oh, crap. There you go.
There.
That's a lot better.
All right, so in a big country.
But didn't the singer die right afterwards, and that's why they only had one hit?
Which, rest in peace, Stuart Adamson, very good singer, but that makes it better. You are locked in as a one-hit wonder.
Okay. Seton O'Connor, one-hit wonder.
Oh, man. This is tough. The tough thing about picking out one-hit wonders is that most of these songs are incredibly annoying. So that makes it a little tricky. But for some reason, this one jumped out right away.
Oh, this is awesome.
Oh, the Knack.
The Knack, right?
My Sharona. I played this so many times when I was a DJ. Okay.
Why not?
But they also had Good Girls Don't, But I Do.
Yeah.
Was another song by Sharona. All right, Fritzy, one-hit wonder.
That was an excellent choice by Seton. I was leaning towards Tainted Love by Soft Cell, but I'm going to go with the song that gets me pumped up the most when I run out to the dance floor. Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock, It Takes Two is my favorite.
No.
I don't know that counts as a...
No.
Because they also had Joy and Pain, which was a big song.
Ooh.
Total two-hit wonder.
That's a two-hit wonder.
Fritzy DQ'd.
Hardcore two-hit wonder. No way.
Well, it's a two-hit wonder. If Todd dances, I'll let him have that. All right? Put it on. All right. If you can find it, Fritzy's going to have to dance.
And his top buttons button, too.
Whoa.
Yeah, I like the collar better, though.
Here we go. If you're watching on Audience Channel 239, DirecTV of the NBC Sports Network, this is just a warning. Here we go. Fritzl J. How do those tennis shoes sound there, Seton? Yeah. All righty. I like it. Thank you, Fritzy. Thank you. I'm not sure what I just saw. I'm not sure. It was good. I don't know what it was, but it was good.
Love that song.
I think. McLovin, one-hit wonder.
Now, there's going to be some debate here about whether I'm going with the German version or the English version. But is my friend Nina or Nena? I'm not sure. 99
low.
Yeah, I like the collar better.
Oh.
Yeah, I like the collar better that way.
Here we go. If you're watching on Audience Channel 239, DirecTV of the NBC Sports Network, this is just a warning. Here we go. Fritzl J. How do those tennis shoes sound there, Seton? Yeah. All righty. I like it. Thank you, Fritzy. Thank you. I'm not sure what I just saw. I'm not sure. It was good. I don't know what it was, but it was good.
Love that song.
I think. McLovin, one-hit wonder.
Now, there's going to be some debate here about whether I'm going with the German version or the English version. But is my friend Nina or Nena? I'm not sure. 99 Luftballons.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
The German version.
Well, I love the German version.
Of course.